Folks, welcome back to Conversations. We are your hosts, Ben.
And I'm Ryan.
And we got the homie Mike Kim Comedy
Back in the house.
back in the pod. We still don't know how to, are you you're just like the reoccurring homie. You're the, we even said you're the Mr. Rogers neighborhood, mailman guy that just stops by, delivers packages.
Yeah.
Like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we were all neighborhood friends.
We're all neighborhood friends. Yeah. You were a little late today.
Yes.
We're starting late, so that's why Ryan's a little irritated right now. It's okay, Ryan.
Am I irritated? Do I look irritated? No, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah.
I was more of like I wanted to implement the late shot rule. There's a new rule.
Okay.
Yes.
He's just trying to find ways to get me drunk. That's all he wants to do.
Pretty much
He's
what
been
it is.
hoping for this for like.
Well, you know, it's also because from the first episode where you were on with us, and then versus when you drank with us versus when you weren't, there was a different vibe, you know. So I'd like to mix it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like get you to.
So that's why I suggested heroin.
Get on.
Heroin
We do have
is not good.
We do have
That's
what is
a
that?
bad idea.
Black tar.
Yeah.
It's
Black tar.
we have some black tar. We get
Black tar?
Oh, it's okay.
It's the
Don't
sweet
worry.
stuff.
We'll let you.
see, I don't
You'll try. It'll be
My
good.
virgin
Like it.
ears, I don't know these things.
Yeah. No. Yes. I will let you slide this time, but the next time you're on.
Well, okay. What were
you
you doing? Why were you late? What were you said you were doing a video.
Yeah, I had to finish editing a video. I've been having massive imposter syndrome and heavy resistance towards creation to the point where I was just thinking about quitting and just like.
For real.
Yeah.
Don't
Just like,
do that.
okay, it's been. I mean, obviously I didn't quit, but I'm a human with like fucking life situations, brains,
of course,
thoughts. We're just human. I don't know, but like I convinced myself I was a machine, and I just kept pushing myself heavily, which is why my Instagram like popped off heavily in the last few months. But that also required like 3 to 6 hours a day on videos, which I did every day for like 3.5, 4, and that's a lot of like nonstop.
That's a lot of time.
And then then I got sick for a couple days, and then the momentum died down, and then you have time to think about things and just kind of like your body dies a little bit. Like, why am I doing all this for? So one of those moments, because I had my 5-year mark. Like all I did for 5 years was just this, and for me that's a long time because I never even had a job for more
Just
than a year.
making content.
Content, stand-up comedy, grinding, sacrificing, not really doing anything, not really like.
Not drinking on podcasts.
Not drinking on podcasts, exactly right. That's the worst part. I can't believe I'm not. I'm not living life.
Has comedy and content creation been your livelihood?
No. I mean, that's not the main income. I mean, that's obviously like the goal later. But then it was just like you start to neglect a lot of other things, and you get on a one-track mind, and then you become like a machine. Going, I'm going to sacrifice everything for this thing, and it's just like you kind of lose your shit.
And are you doing this by yourself? You don't have a team?
Dude, for 5 years?
Yeah, just by yourself.
Yeah, hundreds upon hundreds of content, all on my own hands. But it was good. It made me like better. You understand all the.
What were you doing before comedy and content creation?
Before all that?
Yeah, what were you doing before?
I was doing marketing, like digital marketing. But I didn't enjoy that. I was doing marketing for other people, like other clients, and I was behind a computer all day for like literally all day, 12 hours, 14 hours sometimes. Everything I did was just for that. So, I don't know. I think I'm just trying to figure out whatever balance means to a degree, but I don't really know how to balance. I'm kind of like an all or nothing type of guy. So it's like, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out now. It's weird. So yeah, I've been really thinking about thoughts of quitting. Which obviously, again, I'm not.
Something must have happened for imposter syndrome to be louder now than it ever has been. What is it, like lack of engagement that you used to get? Like, I feel like because I struggle with that every single day, bro.
You
like,
still do too?
Literally, bro. We were just talking before we started rolling about this video that I just posted. Right, it was dance video, and I haven't posted a dance video in a while. And bro, I've been sitting on this video for weeks. I'm like, do I post this? I'm like, this is not even that good. And then I just kind of, man, for whatever, I'll just post it. And then you guys were like, hey, dude, that was dope. And in my head, I was like, really? I thought that was pretty basic for me. But, like, I still, like, I've been dancing professionally for over 20 years. Yeah. And I still have this, is this good? Should I post this? You know what I mean?
I think you should get that out because it's, like, one of those things where, especially me, when I saw it, I was like, I've seen you dance for 20 plus years, you know what I mean? So it's like when I saw it, I was like, it's just nice to see it. because I just haven't seen it in a while. You know what I mean? And then when you actually start watching it, really watch it, it's like, oh, like like I told you, there was elements that I was like, oh, I see you, like being creative. You know, like.
I wanted to have fun, so for me with this,
that's what I meant. You're
in particular,
fun with it.
this song when I first heard it, it felt very like storytelling type of like it's just like riding through the city with the place I dwell. Like he's talking about like I'm rolling with my homie in ATL. Like so it was. I was like, all right, cool. Like this is a story, and I was like, let me just go like storytelling modes, almost like very like Mother Goose. Like, you know what I mean? Even with my movement, I wanted to just be like, all right, let me just be overly, almost exaggerate the storytelling aspect versus just trying to make cool dance moves. But so as a dancer and as somebody who's been doing this for over 20 years, I think for me, I have to be able to find ways to make it fun. And it's not always fun when you do it the same way every time. It's fun when you challenge yourself. It's fun when you're kind of like, yeah, normally I would create in this mode, but this time I want to try it in this mode. But I think that's also what made me question whether it was like post-worthy. Because it was, to me, I was like, man, this is a little too experimental for me. Should I post my experimental stuff? But I was just like, but I had fun. I like doing it. It's fun. So that was enough for me. Like, F it, I'm just going to post it.
Too many mind.
Too much mind, man. Like, if you overthink it, that's where you get stuck. So I'm curious if any of that is that you can relate to, especially when you said like, you've been doing this like hundreds of content, right? And stand-up videos, and then you were like literally coming in here, you just like, man, I just needed to like get out of that mode and come and chat it up with the homies. But what is that like for you? Because you literally said imposter syndrome. I'm curious what that means for you and what even sort of brought that imposter syndrome to the forefront that made it like something that
what is imposter syndrome exactly?
It's when you feel like you don't belong. It's just like, what am I doing here?
All the time. Yeah, okay.
It's imposter syndrome is, why am I in this room? I don't belong here. Like I'm the worst, or I'm the least qualified person to be in this room,
or I'm not what I think I
was. For sure.
Yeah, you basically you think you're a fraud.
In the in the beginning when we were always around Kinja, is like even after in the beginning of becoming a Kinja, like I still felt like that. Remember, I'd always like like feel weird about wearing like the jacket or something. So yeah. I totally understand.
Like you're not worthy.
I didn't know that was the name of it. That's what it was called, but yeah.
Yeah, and definitely social media like exasperates that. It has like a multiplier effect on that because this is the thing I realized recently too. It's like outside of social media, you have no problem dancing. You're not like, oh, should I do this move? You just do the move, right? But on social media, then it's like we revert back to a state of permission. Am I allowed to do this? Are people going to accept me for this? Because in life, you can't really quantify that per se. You can't just like look and then see above their head like Black Mirror and go, oh, they're rating me a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 20 people like this in this group. You don't know. You validate yourself based off of how much you've grown, based off of like, your expertise and your experience. But on social media, it's all quantified. So it fucks with you like heavily, no matter how far you get. I grew my Instagram. It was stuck at 15,000 for like 2 years. And then I was like, all right, what can I do different? I was like, well, you got to go hard. So go post every day non-negotiably. Spent a lot of time on it. And now it's at 92,000.
Let's go.
Yeah, because I've been putting a lot of work into it. Like a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah, that was that period of when you came last until now. Like there was a lot of content you were pushing out.
Dude, yeah, it was. And I had to force myself every day. And every time I made the content, I'm like, why am I doing this? Like this sucks. So I had to constantly like face that and run towards it, right? But then the imposter syndrome kicked in heavily when I realized that, there's more people following me, but then you realize there's like so much more. You're way further than you think. Because before I thought 100K gonna change everything, and then I realized, no, it's not. It's getting me closer, but it's not like changing everything. Yeah. It really doesn't. It's all optics, right? So. Then you start to realize all those times you go, well, if I only got that, then I'll be happier. Then I'll be cooler or more confident. And I think I'm learning that that's not the case. So that's where I think the imposter syndrome comes from, because we're chasing the the dragon's tail or whatever the thing is, right? So I'm trying to come to terms with that and be good with where I'm at and not feel like I'm so behind, because I feel more behind now than when I was at 15K. Ironically,
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I feel worse now than when I was at 15K, because at 15K, and I mean I have other social medias where there was more.
Is that why? Like comparisons?
Yeah. I mean, like I think it's because the further you get into comedy too, you start to see, and I'm not anywhere near like once you're like 8-10 years in, that's when you really have to be good with yourself. Otherwise, bitterness will take your soul, and every comic will tell you that shit. I'm only 5 years in, and I'm starting to see. I was like, okay, because it's people I know who I like them and I'm happy for them, but the envy kicks in, even though you understand. There's a lot of variables in this. Sometimes you're chosen by the industry. Sometimes, and it's nothing against their skill level. It's just there's a lot of things that are also outside of your control. And some could argue even my Instagram, that's out of the control. I just happen to post every day. I couldn't predict that would have happened. Like there was no way. I just kept posting like blindly, just saying I'm just gonna keep pumping shit out and hope something works.
Yeah.
So, but somebody could say that about me too, which I've had people kind of like send me jabs on DMs that I thought was my friends, and they were like accusing me of certain things, like all these things, like buying followers and things like that. And I was like, what the heck? They don't even know. So this game is like meant to make you compare yourself to other people, and then yourself to you in like not a healthy way. So that's where like I'm figuring, and then also you spent 5 years just like being funny, and then you lose touch with a lot of your other emotions. So I'm trying to like tap into that, because I trained my brain to go, oh, I'm sad. Yeah. It's making funny, So it fucks you up. So I got into
Isn't
like
that,
a very
isn't
numb
that like
state.
the comedian's curse is that everything has to be turned into a joke, right? Your pain is turned into a joke. Your insecurities are turned into a joke. So do you feel that like you always have to be on? Is that like a thing now for you?
Well, funny thing is, I used to, and then I turned it completely off. But then that also affected my day-to-day life, because I realized that my whole focus being comedy and just the videos and stand-up, I was only present, not only, but most of the time I was present mainly for just the work. And then everything in between, if I'm at a grocery store, it's like, have you seen the movie Click with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
When he fast forwards?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like the last 5 years have been. Just like, just do. And let's do this, do. And then you like lose your shit because you're so not in touch with yourself. So I'm working on being present, but then the social media thing, then when I do that, it's like, and I'm trying to do the video, and then I make up all these stories in my head of people that are going to unfollow me, and then people that are judging me, and then like, I'm not proud of the video, and then I'm like, why am I doing this? Is this even who I am? And then I start I've been like spiraling down into this weird like, I don't know, deep state of pessimism and just heavy imposter syndrome, because I didn't really have that before. Because when you're just climbing and you're just crawling and your nails are falling off trying to climb from the bottom of the pit to the top, not even to the top, but just even like a couple feet, you're in too much pain to even think about imposter syndrome. You're just trying to fight
For sure.
to survive. So you don't really have too much of that. You're just fighting. So then you get to a certain place, and I mean, not financially, but like with the social media, and then you start getting some shows and you start doing that. And then it's like, then when the crazy kind of quells a little bit, then you're left with like you and your own thoughts, and then you're like, whoa, this is like, what is this? Like, who am I? And then also the age, like I'm 34 now. I'm like, fuck, like what's gonna happen in the next like 6 years? And then I'm 40. Am I gonna be just a loser that's still just grinding?
That's what happens when you turn 40,
What the frick are you trying to say, bro?
We're losers.
Hey, don't project onto him. Don't project.
Yeah, I'm not projecting.
That's exactly what that is. That was projection.
No, it's
right
not
there.
projecting. No.
He's like, that we're losers, right, bro?
No, it's 40 is great, dude. Don't worry. It's a
no, it's not. The age isn't being old. It's just for me, I'm being like, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? And then you just have to have faith in it. But it's like harder to have faith when you are just like, you feel so behind because you keep comparing. But here's the thing: I've done more than I would have ever imagined that I could have done before I started. I would be like, there's no way I'd be here now. But then you keep looking for things you don't have. You keep looking for where you're failing, and you're like, fuck.
As much as imposter syndrome is, it has a negative connotation to it. It's not like, yay, I feel like an imposter. But here's what I think I've learned about imposter syndrome that I've learned to actually embrace. The imposter syndrome is essentially, like we said, you feel like you are a phony, right? Like, I'm going to get found out. Someone's going to be like, hey, who let this guy in, right? And like, you shouldn't be here. You're not good as everybody here. You're not as funny. You're not as a good, skilled, whatever. And so, of course, that's essentially what that is, right? You feel like, I'm going to get found out at some point that I shouldn't be here and someone's going to call me out. That's the extreme of it. But I think there is something that is powerful in a good way about imposter syndrome. It keeps you humble because you know the imposter syndrome comes with this, like, man, I'm not as skilled as that guy.
No.
That guy belongs here. I'm not even close to that. So what does that make you do that makes you feel like I got to keep working hard? I have to keep studying my craft so that maybe at some day I can be like, yes, I belong in the same room with that guy. And of course, there's a lot of unhealthiness to that too. There's like comparison, right? Because we're constantly like, oh yeah, me versus them, me versus them, me versus them. It's this whole versus thing, which I think is also can be very toxic and dangerous. But I will say, imposter syndrome, should you look at it in the positive, it keeps you humble. So it keeps you like always teachable, always on grind mode. And you are, I'm like over here staring at pictures of Kobe, right? I mean, Kobe was one of the GOATs, right? But like, he always was, I have to be the hardest worker. I got to show up earlier than everybody. I got to stay later than everybody. And I'm sure that probably came with some level of imposter syndrome.
And let's not forget, when he first started, he airballed the shit out of all the big shots, but he still took them. Even though he made that airball that last game, the next one, he took that airball. I mean, he took that three-pointer, that buzzer beater. He airballed it or he bricked it. Came back, he just kept on doing it. And then eventually, he was the most clutch basketball player in the NBA. So it's like, you just got to keep doing it, right?
And I'm sure him standing next to Jordan, who he looked up to,
Yeah.
I'm sure he felt some level of imposter. Like, I'm standing next to Michael Jordan,
And the
who is
comparisons.
the greatest. But as much as he probably was like, man, this guy is the GOAT, he was like, I don't feel like I can match up to this guy, but I'm here for a reason, and I'm going to prove to myself even that I got to work so hard that I'm going to make it so that I belong. But, I think that when we talk about these things of, the walls that we hit as creatives and, I'm not as good as this guy kind of thing. So why am I getting this kind of placement? Or, oh yeah, like, why are people following me? Like, what if they unfollow me because if I just fall off and I'm not as entertaining and they don't feel like I'm worthy of the follow anymore? That's all a part of this imposter syndrome. But I think there is a healthy way to have imposter syndrome. And I will take that back to, it keeps you humble. You know what I mean? And it makes you feel like, I cannot get lazy. I have to keep working hard, and I have to keep being a student of whatever craft that I'm studying. So for me, whether it's dance, whether it's podcasting, speaking, because I follow podcasts. I'm like, man, this guy, such a great interviewer. Like, am I ever gonna get to that? But I'm like, well, you're never gonna know unless you put in the reps. So you just gotta keep doing what you do, and I think there's something healthy about it.
No, I agree on that. Like the humble aspect and doing that, because I was there too. But what it is, it's when you give a certain version of yourself out there, and then it's like you have to keep working on being as authentic as you can. Because if you're not, you lose your shit.
Totally.
And the way you post and stuff. So I think it's just like, how can I stay authentically true to myself while still giving myself to the world? Because it feels kind of like, so there was this episode of the Twilight Zone, the one that was remade.
Okay.
With it was a stand-up comedy episode, and basically it's with Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
And to sum it up, he's not getting laughs, right? He's on stage, and then he goes, "Let me share something personal that happened earlier in the day." So he shares a thing about him and his girlfriend going to a grocery store to buy milk, and something funny happened, and he gets a crazy laugh. Then he goes home, tells his girlfriend that, and his girlfriend goes, "Babe, what are you talking about? We never went to the grocery store." He's like, "Yeah, we did. We just went earlier." She's like, "What?" So basically, what happens is he keeps going up on stage and telling another thing that happened from his personal life, and it disappears because he gave it to the audience. He gave it to them. I didn't understand the meaning behind that until very recently, because it really, I just you give so much of yourself to the internet and the world. It's like what's sacred anymore? Like who are you? Because you find a way to make it funnier and you punch it up. And then it's like, at first it's like, well, it's almost therapeutic. It can help heal the past, and you can reframe things to a degree. But then when you have to make it funny, then it's like, it's being warped and artificially shaped into something else. And then what is sacred? What is yours? Like, who are you? That's where my imposter syndrome has been coming from. Because I feel like I've been losing like a sense of myself by like also changing myself to a degree to get these laughs, fabricating things to a degree, to like shaping things, in like an unnatural way at times. So that's kind of what I'm going through now. So I feel like whenever it is that I get out of that, it'll make sense, because you have to hit certain walls like that to figure more things out about yourself, whether it's you're a creative or not. It's just like a life thing. So I think I'm just in that mode where I'm just like, but it's lasting a lot longer than I would like. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is this? But so even though, so I look at the whole, I think it's good to think about quitting. Not like I need to quit, but just like being honest and going, what if I quit? Do I want to quit? What are those feelings? These feelings that you ignored for so long on the grind, that you never really addressed, that you maybe didn't have to address because it didn't build up to that point yet. But now that I'm 5 years in and like life things happen, and then just like that's all you did, and you reflect, and you're just like, what's the point of all this? So, but I think it's good to ask that, to find out why and who you are, what the identity of this thing, because you're not just a dancer, you're not just Kinjas, you're your husband, you're a Christian, whatever. But we're more than just that, and I think that's the journey that I'm on now while I'm doing, because I was just Mike Kim comedy the last 5 years. Everybody, Mike Kim comedy, and then they're rewarding me, yo, it's Mike Kim, and then over time I'm just like, I don't really fucking care. Especially when I'm not feeling that good, I'm like I appreciate them for that, but it's just like, what do I feel good about?
That's a good question. So, I mean, I'd love to tap into that a little bit more. So, as you're dissecting this, right, you're experiencing your own. I mean, bro, I appreciate this level of transparency and vulnerability, bro. This is great, because I think. I mean, essentially, this is content right now. What we're doing, we're gonna post this. It's gonna go out on the internet, and then people are gonna watch, and people are gonna judge what this conversation was about, right? So even the irony of it is, we are creating content about the woes of creating content. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you, as you've been identified as Mike Kim Comedy, this has kind of been your brand. And I still believe you love it, and I still believe that like you feel passionate about it, but you have your off moments, you have your off days, you have your like, yo, I don't feel funny today, or I don't feel like I want to post the thing that I'm supposed to post because that's my job now, is to post every day. How are you navigating through the woes of that? Like the you know what I mean? Like, can I just be Mike Kim? Take out the comedy, take out the
what
like.
What do you do to decompress?
But like, what's the way that you feel like you can just not have to meet the expectation of whatever you think the expectation is? That's also actually, you know what? That's actually really, I think that's a very interesting phenomenon. Whereas we think there's an expectation because we do a pattern. I post edit every day, and then my followers grew, and and so like you think. The expectation is I have to post every day because that's what everyone else wants from me.
Very true, yeah. You put the expectation on yourself.
You put the expectation because you see the results, so you think, in order for me to maintain my results, I have to do this thing. But no one's over here like, hey, bro, what are you doing? Like, are you posting today? Otherwise, I'm gonna unfollow you.
Yeah. Or like you don't even remember, like if you don't see a post, like I don't think about like man, somebody I follow daily, where I see a daily, like for example, Manolo, like he's this golfer guy. He posts golf videos, but it's not like when I don't see him one day, I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, should I unfollow
Like, what the hell? Like, why is he not, you know what I mean? Like, why is he not? Everything is so like, everyone's doing this, you know, and not liking or like just liking and just moving on. So it's just like people are just in a it's like we're comparing ourselves or comparing to this metric that is not completely like real or like being done by like real feelings. Because a lot of people just scroll. Like my wife, sometimes when I'm trying to sleep, she's just literally like, I tell her, dude, can you just watch one thing? Because the fact that you're scrolling so much, I can't focus on sleeping because the thing changes in the background so much.
All you hear is.
Or the one same clip like repeating
yeah,
3-4 times. So it's like, and she doesn't like any of the videos. You know what I mean? But she's like watching them. So it's just like I just feel like it's a hard metric because I have the same feelings of that and stress when it comes to posting for this podcast. You know, and I'm like always comparing and I'm like doing this. So now I try to just not think about it because it does drive me crazy. So I totally understand where you're coming from. But man, like I think another thing, if I can say, is also you might be coming into that quarter to like the third life crisis, like where in age wise, like that's where you're going through. And then that I did that with my career. I'm sure you had that feeling at that age. You know what I mean? Like the third life.
I have
crisis.
it right now, bro.
Yeah, so it's
I'm
like
having it right now.
For your career?
Yeah, 100%.
It's normal. You know what I mean? So.
Well, how are you guys going through it?
Well, so for me, I mean, everybody has, in the last 20 years or so, has known me as Ben of Jabberwockies, Ben of Kinjas, Ben the dancer. And I've grown very comfortable with being attached to Ben of blank, Ben of blank, Ben who does this. And, you know, I'm 42 now, you know what I'm saying? So this is the first time, you know, after I turned 40, bro, things get real after 40, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Body and everything.
It's different. Like, you know, like the way that you are used to things being, it just changes. The way that you think, like, oh, I can be as resilient as I've always been, and it just
Like
gets
physically or mentally or
everything.
Like just
it's harder to do it, right?
yeah, but that's why you gotta have healthy discipline.
It's hard, but it's also there's a bliss to it too, like a bliss of aging or being.
But you also stop caring as much.
That's what it is. The bliss.
As far as
that's a trade-off.
Yeah.
What I mean by not caring, period, but caring about what other people think. But I do care. So for me, I knew that something that someone said. I listen to a lot of different podcasts and stuff, and I love a lot of these self improvement types of things. One of the simplest messages that I heard was, no one's coming to save you. Meaning, you got to do what you want to do for yourself, because ain't nobody coming to do it for you. So if you want your life to change, like I want to get physically healthier, you have to get physically healthier. No one's going to come and be like, hey, bro, let's get healthy, and make you healthy because they're going to motivate you to the point where you're going to just get healthy by this person's influence. No one's coming to save you. If you want something, you got to do it for yourself. And I know that can be a little bit like, oh, okay, fine. Like, I got to freaking be the man. But the point is this, no one's going to live your life for you. So you have to make the decisions of what your life design is going to be. And your life design is going to show itself. You can be like, you can easily be like, yo, I do this, I hustle in this way, I'm healthy in this way, and then all anyone has to do is look at that person's life and see, is that legit? Because are you actually healthy in that way? Do you actually think this way? Because your life is going to show it. So the concept of no one is coming to save you, that like, it's a haunting thought, but it's also a motivating thought. That makes me feel like every day that I wake up and my eyes are open, I'm just like, I gotta make my day count. I have to, because no one's gonna come and like do it for me. So, at 42, being the guy who's been known as the dancer of this and that, and I still dance and I still get down and I love it and I think I'm gonna do it forever, but the way that it looks, bro, let's look at professional sports. Every athlete retires at some point. No athlete plays the game on the professional level forever.
Except LeBron. LeBron's killing it right now.
He is killing it, but even LeBron's going to retire.
But he takes care of himself.
He does.
The preparation of...
Speaking of self...
He literally like does things to make sure that he stays youthful. His needs, like his workouts, He's very mindful of his like diet and stuff, and that's why he's been able. Like, let's be honest, Kobe was 20 years, Jordan was 20 years. They all were. They fell off the last 3 years before that, even before. LeBron, he's like, I just watched him today. He was dunking on.
So he's learned from their you know, I've seen the guys before me, not even mistakes, but he was like, okay, if you know Jordan had his career at this time span, Kobe had it in this time span, how can I be better? Because he just observed, and so his self-care is next level. So the whole thing for me, as I am transitioning out of this, I am the professional dancer that everybody knows me for, and this is why I feel good about myself. Bro, it's very humbling, bro, to be like, yeah, man, that may be on its way out. But because something is on its way out doesn't mean you lose your value and you start to be like, yeah, you don't matter anymore. It's at that point where you have to realize for yourself, okay, that's on its way out. So what's on its way in? And that's where I'm at right now. You know, even with the content that I've been creating, I talk about dance and entrepreneurship, and I'll put out a dance video here and there, but like what I actually care about is people development. Like people, and you could be a comedian, you could be a dancer, you could be an entrepreneur. You're still a person. You still live the human experience, and inspiration is, bro, everyone needs it. Like inspiration is something that literally every single person, no matter what industry, walk of life you're in, everyone needs to be inspired. So now I am trying to figure out, well, what do I actually care about? What transcends a physical skill set? And for me, I think what God has gifted me with is the ability to connect with people. So now I'm like exploring what that looks like. How do I connect with people? Given I have an audience that follows me from my dance career, and given that like I'm developing new audience from podcasting and things like that, I'm just like, cool, everybody's welcome. Dancer, cool, get in here. Music people, get in here. Food people, get in here. Comedians, we're all people. So, and it takes a lot of soul searching though too. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to really be honest of, what do I really care about? Even with dance, if I really ask myself, why did I dance on the level that I did? Is because it brought me community. It brought me people. It brought me access to people. So for me now, bro, I'm, at 42, yes, I still dance. Yes, I love it and I'm going to do it forever. But I'm now looking at what does that give me access to? And for me, it's people. And for you, somebody who makes people laugh, who stands on stage, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you let people sort of unplug from their life for that whatever hour and whatever that is, for them to just laugh. And even like, talking about a lot of that laughter comes from personal pain, but you are able to connect with people. And I think there's something powerful about that. Your content connects with people. So I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm saying as somebody who is transitioning, I am now looking at like, well, what was it that I really loved about the dance? What was it that I really loved about the performance? It was because it connected with people. That's my thing.
Which is good then, because then that can pivot to a lot of other things and include a lot of things. So that's kind of where I'm at too, because I'm not saying I'm going to stop, but it's just like I'm at that position of what do I also care about? Because I'm not just a funny haha guy. I'm actually like a very deep individual who's been doing self-development before it was cool. I was doing it at 18. I'm 34, so I was doing it at 18 when there was when they had a Borders and they had their self-development section was not even a section. It was it was with psychology, and I only discovered it because I was trying to quit drugs. Whoa! And my friends thought, and I was telling everybody about the self-development shit, all these books like The Magic of Thinking Big and all these Tony Robbins stuff, and everybody thought I was crazy, and now it's cool, right? So like, but I'm that type of person as well. Like I'm heavily into those type of things too. So like, I think I've been neglecting a little too much that side of me, which is not even a side. That's who I am at the core. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that too.
Yeah, what are your hobbies, or like what do you do to decompress? Like what do you I know during that time, but Mike Kim, like what does he love to do? Okay. Singing. So you like to sing?
My original dream in high school was to go to Korea to be a singer. not a K-pop singer, but like ballads and stuff.
Ballad singer. Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm not good. I'm not good enough to do that. Like realistically speaking, it's not like I don't. It's not you don't believe. No, it's legit. My ability to sing is not at that level, but I sing good enough to make people want to buy me drinks and they want to listen to me.
So Norebang is your thing. We're gonna have to go to Norebang with it.
I used
We'll
to
have
go
to
3
We
to
gotta
4
do
times
a
a week.
Norebang
I
Heshi.
think here, you know
Yeah.
that all
We
work
should
and
go,
no
we should
play.
go, yeah.
All work and no play makes Mike a dull boy kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
that's a real thing. Like you putting yourself into this thing, this comedy like grind for 5 years, but you're not focusing at all on yourself too.
I
right?
haven't. My friends been telling me that too. They're like, they go, you gotta do something for yourself. And I would hear that, and my brain was so grind mode when I heard that. My brain went, "You're weak. You're trying to make me you're trying to make me fail on my dreams." Like
Trying to make me waste time?
I go. Oh no, I appreciate you, but I'm like, fuck you. You want me to fail because like my brain is so survival with that, and now it's like I went on fight or flight for 5 years. But I kind of crashed with that. I don't have that. That like
edge.
fuck everything else now. Because I used to say I'm willing to lose everything for this, and I don't feel like that anymore.
Which is okay. It's like maybe it's a thing, a growth thing. You know, like with
I definitely think it's some kind of a growth thing. So it's a thing to also figure out. Plus with the 34 thing, my mom's getting older. And the people are passing away. Like I lost. I was trying to avoid this because I don't want to get emotional, but I lost 2 grandmas recently.
I remember, yeah.
Back to back. Within 3.5 months. I don't know if I told you guys that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Did it happen before we saw you, or there was one that still was alive?
Yeah, there was one that was still alive.
And she
and then she died 3.5 months later. So I don't have any more grandparents, right? And I still. Okay, this is the real stuff. Well, fuck it. So I was actually avoiding this. Funny enough, I was still doing the post every day thing no matter what. And then when the last one died, I still posted every day. And that same day, I went to the Laugh Factory, and then I was there to just hang out and chill. And they were like, "Hey, the headliner's not here. Can you do 5 minutes?" I was like, "Sure." And I was like dead on the inside, and I performed. But like, that's what made me think like, what am I doing this for, dude? That's why I don't feel like I'm willing to lose everything now. I was before. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you lost your grandparents, man. Like,
Yeah. Bro, I think that's nothing happens for nothing, bro. Everything happens for something. And the energy that you came in tonight with, I think there's don't dismiss it, bro. Don't
we're here for you.
Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like you need to suppress it. And I think with you losing, family like that, loved ones that obviously deeply impact you. And when you say like you showed up to the Laugh Factory, you felt like, all right, I feel dead inside, but I gotta perform.
I didn't know I was gonna perform.
Yeah.
They just asked me last
Right.
second.
Right.
And here's the thing, I feel like I can't tell people these things because I'm always like the strong one in the friend group. I'm the one pushing everybody. It's like, oh, Mike, he's the fucking grinder. He's the one that fucking pushes hard, and that became my identity. But that's where I don't give myself grace to feel like it's okay to feel like quote unquote weak.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're weak, but I can say this, but it doesn't mean that I allow myself to feel like this. So that's where I struggle, where I like letting go and going like, it's okay.
Dude, there's power in vulnerability,
Yeah,
bro.
vulnerability is...
When you can openly talk about what you feel sad about, what you feel insecure about, what you feel unsure about, there's power in that because you're admitting that you're human. And human is both weak and it's both powerful at the same time. We're two sides of the same coin. You know what I mean? There's power on one side and there's weakness on the other, and that's the beauty of it. And I think this is really important. I'm glad we're talking about this. Like we weren't even gonna. I thought we were gonna talk about our hobbies.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But like,
my bad, guys.
no,
okay,
this is
no,
great. This is the
podcast
real
is
stuff.
about.
But I think for anybody out there who's listening or watching, right? When they think about their favorite content creators or their influencer, that they're like, yeah, I'm a fan of this guy or this girl or whatever. I guarantee you, I promise you, every single one of your favorite influencers, performers, whatever you want to call them, they all go through the same things that y'all go through, we go through. Loss, insecurity, questioning whether we're on the right path. You know what I'm saying? everybody goes through that, and dude, the extremes of Hollywood. We've seen some of the goats that we would have never thought, from Robin Williams to, my boy Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, and you know what I mean? So many people who take their own lives when you're like, bro, you seem like you were at the top.
Yeah.
You seem like you were at the peak of your output, peak of public relevance, yet no one ever knew what was going on inside in the personal space, right? In the like, man, I'm tired. I don't feel funny. Yet I feel like I gotta keep cracking these jokes because I need to keep getting that response that I want. You know what I mean? The dopamine hits of like, cool, I still got it. I still got it. The grind. Oh. Bro, even for me.
Like Chandler's book too. Like he was going through that. Like he needed that. When he Chandler or Matthew Perry. Yeah, he wrote a book. He was like, that was his thing. His drug was like, he needed a laugh, and it killed him when he didn't get it. So it's like.
Exactly.
And we didn't,
And from Matthew Perry had his own drug addictions and not to go dark about it, but it is dark. Yeah. There are dark places that we get to when we feel like we have to keep performing at that level. And so even when you guys were talking about the dance video that I just posted, I'm just like, I didn't think that was that good, but then. And, but like maybe people are like, yo, we just haven't seen you in a while. So it's great to see you back out. Even at that, I'm just like, cool, I'll take it. Because in my head, I'm just like, oh, so you guys are just like giving me some easy props right now. Because you're giving me the like, oh, we haven't seen you in a while props. And, but like whatever it is, because bro, that's all in my head. I promise you. Even hearing you guys talk, I'm just like, what are you talking about? You're talking about like, oh yeah, your footwork. I'm like, what do you mean? My footwork's not even impressive.
I said that.
Okay.
Oh, he did too? Oh. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. That when you match the thing.
I feel like whenever we try to compliment Ben, it sounds like an insult to him.
It totally does. It totally does. Yes.
Yeah, even that sound, when you go, yabba dabba doo.
But it was like a...
My Fred Flintstone footwork.
It was awesome. It was yabba dabba delicious. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's funny because from an outsider perspective, like I saw it, I was like, how the fuck does he do that shit?
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm always gonna be in, that's easy props. I hate easy props. But then in your mind, you were like, no, bro, I'm actually literally giving you your flowers right now because I think that was impressive. So everybody can translate that to, like, you might drop a video that you think was like whatever, and I could be like, yo, I just love that one part. That part was so funny, or that like really resonated with me. And in your head, just like, oh, so it was just one part that resonated with you.
You literally, or I'll go, you're fucking lying to me.
Right,
and
right.
You don't do this to me. I've done it to you. I'm like, oh, I love this part, and you're like, you like that? Or you're like, yeah.
But think about it. Think about why I ask.
No, yeah.
I literally go, oh, did you really?
No, and then what I explain, I have the nuance. There's nuances that you do.
Yeah. Then when I hear that, then I believe it. But it's hard for me to believe it, same as it's hard for you, because we are our own worst.
We're the worst,
and that makes us almost hate what we do at times.
Mm-hmm.
When we did it, because we actually do love it. But I think there's a healthy amount to do that of self-critiquing to get better. But I think a lot of times we do it on a very unhealthy level. Totally. I mean, and I know you have to be able to get.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that people just say like that shit to you to like just to gas you up?
Sometimes people do.
Sometimes. You really think that?
Sometimes
you really think that?
Yeah. I know when it's like just a gas up comment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But but I'll even go further than that. Even if I know someone's just saying something to gas me up, these days I'm thankful even for that. I'm just like, you know what? Thank you for gassing me up. I might have needed that today. And because of course we want the real props. Like I want the real ones to be like, all right, so you liked it. What did you like about it?
Yeah, right.
Like
I'm gonna gas you up once a day. I'm just gonna text you and be like,
this fool.
Just text him. Yeah, but
no, I'm just gonna text because you know what, man. There's certain things that you do or you like I see that I don't say to you, and I don't post or I don't comment. but I want to say it to you in your in a text. I should just do it.
Why don't you
Because
leave
if
it
it
in
means
my comments, bro? I need more comments.
Yeah. Help the
I need more,
algorithm.
See, don't
I need more likes and comments, bro.
I'll put it on the comment and then I'll
You know, I'm guilty of that too. I should have wrote, "Hey, I was studying your footwork," which is true. I was only looking at footwork. I was like, "Wow, that's so cool."
It was good.
Like,
Hey,
that
you
makes
know,
that makes that work. And I'm looking at the upper body, and upper body just like super smooth. And I was like, okay. And you put them together, and then it's just like, like a Voltron. It becomes Voltron.
If I can say one thing, like doing dojo, and you guys were like, oh, you know, when I was like, hey, you guys should, you know, teach this day, you know, do the, you know, the schedule, and everyone was like, you know, I don't want to be too available because eventually people are going to be like, I'm bored with it, right?
Yeah, like too much access makes you feel, or it decreases your value because you're too easily,
accessible, right? So, but at the same time, you have to remember there is this, what I was saying with dojo is that there's these group of kids that would come every single day, no matter what, because it's you guys, it's you. They want to learn from you. It's not, you know what I mean? So there is there is a section of the people that follow you that like whatever you do is going to be dope because you're dope. You know what I mean? Just got to get out of your head. You know what I mean?
You know what I out of speaking of comedy, veterans in the game, people who have like kind of had hits and misses. I think of Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler, he's been out forever, and he's put out so much content, movies of all kinds, flops, hits, misses, and dude, you guys seen?
But you watch everything in the theater, right? You watch?
No, I don't.
Up into pandemic, no?
I don't watch every Adam Sandler.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, me neither. I didn't watch.
I do love
Jill
Adam
in
Sandler.
the theaters.
Do I watch every single movie? I don't.
I didn't watch Jack and Jill in the
I've seen
theaters.
most.
I've seen most.
In the theaters?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
good.
you know what you're getting. You know
what you're
what
getting.
type of movie you're getting, and it's enjoyable.
I watch every single one. I'm gonna say it. I watch every single one in the theater.
Great.
Yeah,
Hey.
don't lie.
Except the Netflix ones and the recent ones,
But the reason I bring up Adam Sandler is because I feel that he is a creator, he's a comedian, and is an actor that just keeps cranking stuff, and it could easily be viewed as like, oh, you're just trying to like cash grab.
he's having fun.
He is having fun. Yeah. There was a movie that he put out called Funny People.
Yeah.
You guys seen Funny People?
Of course, yeah. It was like one of his first Anger Management was a serious one.
It was one of his like serious movies. It was still funny.
He was dying comedian, right?
Yeah, he basically.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He basically makes fun of his own life. He's kind of pointing out like, hey, I am this comedian and I make like whatever movie that's like, so he's like this, he makes like this merman movie that flopped and people criticize him. But he started out as a stand-up comedian. That was his whole thing. I started out as a stand-up doing comedy clubs, and he develops this terminal illness where he's just like, I'm gonna, I got a little bit left, so I gotta really make my last months or whatever count. And then Seth Rogen's in it, so it's a very like it's a mirror. I feel like it was a mirror about him telling his own life story, and then everyone knows him, right? He's like famous. He's this famous guy. He goes out on the street. Everyone's like, oh yeah, like let me take a photo. I've been a fan since blah blah blah. But
the one with Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen.
Cancer.
Yes. So you've seen that. Loved about that movie was I felt like it was such a vulnerable move on his part, because he's like, I want people to actually know what my life is actually like, to the point where I feel like I have to keep performing, otherwise why would anybody care about me? And then he has this disease that he thinks that he's gonna die from. Then he survives, and he has this whole new outlook on life, and he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna be positive and elevate people. And then it's just like this roller coaster. It's such a freaking roller coaster, but that's life, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you can be on your top and you can be known and praised for the thing that everybody thinks that you're dope at, and then that gives you your own sense of like self-relevance, like, okay, I better maintain this so that people still love me. But then he's like, yo, I'm about to die. So he's just also what really matters. So he like reconnects with his first love, and I mean, it's a whole roller coaster. But I think why I love that movie so much is because I love Adam Sandler. This dude is one of the GOATs, right?
He is.
And from what I've never personally met him, but from what I hear that when people meet him,
I met him before.
that he's super down to earth, super down
nice.
to like take photos and things like that.
He sang during the Dot years. We saw him in Beverly Hills on her birthday. And he was with the dude from The Waterboy, the quarterback guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
That's his homie. Yeah, he always brings on to his movies. Yeah.
They were together, and they literally, he was like, oh, this is, my girlfriend, it's her birthday. He sang happy birthday to her. And he sang the whole thing.
Wow.
He's like, happy birthday. Like,
what is like?
Yeah, he did it.
That's
he did
so
it.
sick, dude.
And he had, and we were like, after like the first like dot, like thought it was gonna end, but he like happy birthday, and then like his buddy was just sitting there. He was just standing there like, but they were freaking amazing. They were so nice, and that's when I was like, this guy. That's why I'm like, I'm down to support this guy. I watch every movie that he puts out, even if it's bad, because it's him. You know what I mean? Like I love him as an actor and an artist, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes it's gonna be bad, but there's gonna be elements in that movie that's funny. You know what I mean?
True,
so just like Tom Cruise, I always watch a Tom Cruise movie because
he's
you know what I mean.
Got some home runs, man.
Yeah.
He's got some home runs.
And you know what you're getting with each one of them. So like I think that's a testament to it. I think Adam figured it out. Like he doesn't care so much about is it a block.
We gotta get you on SNL,
dude. Okay. By the way, I have thoughts about Asians being on SNL. This is why I don't think an Asian will ever be very successful on SNL.
Well, that Boeing Yang guy is.
But here's my point. My point is this: SNL works because they make fun of people that are celebrities. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of black celebrities, white celebrities. There's not a lot of Asian celebrities. So who does Bowen play? He plays like.
But you do impressions though, right? Like, oh yeah, okay. No, who does Bowen play? Yeah, he plays a lot of random white people.
But
like
that's my
point.
So
random. Yeah,
it's not Bowen's fault. Like I'm glad Bowen's on it. My point is, it's the machine of the Hollywood, United States, the way it's built over like decades. You can't. Who are we gonna imitate?
Yeah.
Right. That's why it's not so amazing when he does it compared to. Not that he's bad at it, but it's just there. Who is gonna imitate? Jackie Chan. Fucking.
I don't honestly see any imitations that he does that are spot on.
Because there's not Asian people.
That's why there's a spot.
That's true.
There's a spot
there.
No,
but you see what I'm saying? That's why for SNL for Asian people, it's really hard to make that work until maybe like 300 years later, when there's like way more Asian people. No, I'm serious though. But who are we imitating?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah,
I'm not being negative. I'm just speaking facts.
True.
You could do the Rock. You could do the Rock, right? Like
the Walk.
The Walk.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you can imitate Simu Liu, bro. You could make fun of Shang-Chi. Just kidding.
He doesn't even have like a unique.
Be on the show, please.
He doesn't have a weird voice. He has a normal sounding voice. So the more you have like a group of people to pick from, then there's more like weird eccentric people you can imitate. But there's not because there's so few Asian people, right? So that's like a whole other topic later to talk about. But that's why SNL is not even like a goal of mine at all. I don't even think about it.
Bro, just keep carving your own lane, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And actually, I feel a lot better now because I think the main issue I have is this: I'm not present in a lot of situations that don't have to do with work, which I'm trying to work on. And the other thing is I have an extremely hard time being honest about my own vulnerability, like sadness too. I didn't even know I was still like really feeling sad about it until I really, because obviously like I knew deep inside, it's definitely still there because I'm avoiding it like intentionally. Like my insides was avoiding it, and when I started saying it, then I got really emotional. I was like, oh, that's still there. That means I have to like address it more on my own because I just kept working.
For sure.
I just kept working, do everything to prove to myself. And here was my philosophy was, if I can work through these hard moments emotionally and mentally, I can make it through anything.
That's the Asian way.
I know. I saw it as like a weight vest, like a weighted vest. Like I'm working out with a weighted vest, and then it's like Rock Lee. Then I take it off.
Rock Lee, bro.
I'm like destroying after that. But then, funny enough, I'm sure later, but right now, I was like crashing. I was like, damn. But it's just because I wasn't addressing it. So now I feel like, I don't know if you guys can feel it, but I feel a million times better because like I did like a pseudo tear, not like a real cry, but like a pseudo tear thing. And just by addressing that, now I feel better. Now I feel like I can create again, because if you're only doing funny and you're not doing the other stuff and addressing that within, then you start to feel like you're dying, which can lead to like that's when motherfuckers kill themselves, like you said.
Yeah.
A lot of comedians. There's people that we lost recently, like Dex Carvey, Dana Carvey's son. You know Dana Carvey from SNL. Yeah. I know Dex. I knew
Wow.
he passed away.
That's
but
crazy.
like that was like an accident, overdose and stuff. But there's plenty of people that we know that killed themselves too, and I get it because I felt the sense of that. Not that I was like planning to kill myself recently, but I wanted to disappear. I wanted to quit everything and just sleep forever. But that's because I wasn't addressing the grandma thing. Like, I feel alive again simply because I like
that's dope.
even just like suppressing my tear but feeling it. I feel a million times better. Even though I don't really cry, but like I did kind of cry, but not really. That feels. I feel that was like a sort of.
That was a like the
So that taught me something. That's why I'm glad I gotta thank you guys for.
That's what happens.
Bro,
when these lights, dude. When these lights come on.
For your vulnerability, because it wouldn't have came out if you didn't. I would have still kept feeling crazy because I thought I was fine, but I have to recognize the last one only like the funeral was like maybe 2 months ago. I guess that's not that long ago, right? And then the other one was like 3 months before that. So I don't give myself enough grace of going, dude, you went through something. I have a hard time telling myself that because I'm so like, go. No, you can handle everything. So I gaslight myself.
Wow.
All the time.
Bro, this is great.
Yeah.
You're realizing stuff for yourself that you didn't know was there.
And you're you're showing us a different side too, like
100%. I've never seen this side.
I love this. Yeah.
But
yeah, where I'm like.
I'm sorry. I don't mean love that, but I love that. I feel close. I feel closer to you. Even today when you walked in, it wasn't like, hey, what's up, man? What's up? It was just very like I gave you a hug. Like we gave the side hug that I gave you. Like it's a side hug, but it was a guy hug. But it was a very like, oh, I missed you, and I really missed you. You know what I mean? Even today, I told you, I was like, we're not gonna talk about anything. I just miss you. You know, like
that's why I try to edit it.
And that's why from us, like me, I'm gonna say this before you finish. Like I'm gonna invite you out to like our. Just when we hang out, because I want to see you more, like outside of this, you know. So
I like you guys.
Yeah.
I actually.
I like you too, man.
I like you. I like you guys.
I turned down a lot of these things, but like with you guys, I mean, obviously, I finished the thing and I drive 20 miles here because I want to.
Bro, that's.
I enjoy being.
You know, and I think there's something powerful about your decision because something about whatever this vibe is, you're like, I just want to be there. I want to. And bro, we're not the most poppin' podcast, you know what I'm saying? Like this is just homies hanging out, and the fact that like we're conversations, right? Like we gotta be relevant to what it goes on in the Asian community. I'm like, bro, what's relevant to us as human beings is relevant to our Asian American community, whatever it is. What I love about the energy that you came into this with was you weren't holding back anything. You could have easily been like, I'm not gonna talk about that, and let's laugh, let's keep my brand up. Let me have some good sound bites that I can repost on my social media so that people know that I'm still popping and relevant. I'm doing all kinds of other things. Yeah. But what you came in here with was, man, I came in like I just needed to get out of my head. I was editing this video that I didn't want to repost or didn't want to post because I didn't think it was good. And that immediately sparked me. I'm like, bro, what's up, bro? You cool?
Yeah.
And then we just unpacked that. And here's just my suggestion. We can even edit this out if we feel like we want to edit this out. But what I think your audience would appreciate is you being more like you are right now, even on your own channel. And you could still make it funny. You could still, but it's just like, yo, dude, like, I recently had a loss of loved ones. It's been hard for me to create out content, but you know what? Like, I appreciate the fans that have been recently following me, to the ones who have been down with me since day one. But life is tough, man. You know what I mean? Like,
that's real.
You know what's funny about that? I was heavily contemplating doing that for the last month. I was even thinking about making an Instagram thing and then adding a little bit of comedy of just, which is true of, and then like the first thing all my guy friends asked me when I told them that my grandma's passed away was like, how close were you? And I realized when guys ask that, it's because they want to know how much they need to care.
Yeah.
Because when I was
for sure.
Where
are you at right now? Where are you at?
One of them raised me like a mother, and the other one, I would see her just a few times a year. So I remember going, when the first one died, I was like, I'll see her like a few times a year, just like holidays and stuff. So we weren't like the closest, and they'd be like, dude, she's in a better place. She's good. Right?
Like that's the right answer. Like,
yeah.
I can
That's
give
the
you
right
that
answer.
answer. She's in a better
Wait,
place.
is it?
And then when I say, oh, the second one, then I go, they ask me, and I go, oh, well, she raised me like a mother. They go,
Was she mom's side?
dude, do you need a dog? Or, like,
Yeah.
because
Like,
guys are practical and they want to solve things,
Yeah.
right? So there's a
Right.
truth and a joke in that where I'm not altering or fabricating things. So it's funny and it doesn't make me hate myself because it's a truth and a funny within the truth.
Yeah.
Right? So I was thinking of adding that as well, but mostly 90% of it would just be honest because I used to be very vulnerable and then slowly on the internet, slowly it just like I just was like I gotta be funny. And that's why I'm putting out more talking stuff to be more me. So I think you're right. I think I just have to like YouTube long form, be honest and talk about because my plan was to talk about that taught me the finiteness of life.
Dude, that's
Because
gold.
I lost there's a generation's wiped out in my family. I have no more grandparents.
wow.
So that hit me harder than because we all know we're gonna die,
Right.
but it doesn't hit you until you lose a generation of people and history and culture
All right.
that went through the wars, that went through everything, that went through extra struggle, like stories you'll never hear. That it was like death of a culture to me. That was one of the most devastating parts of that too, which made me so like sad, right? That's some real shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, holy shit, like I don't feel that it's important to throw everything away just for my dreams because that can turn my dream into a nightmare, which leads people to off themselves and stuff. Yeah. So the finiteness of life, that's why like I appreciate my mother more. I appreciate like just I don't know, just fucking obviously I should appreciate myself more, but I gotta work on that. But like that's the blessing and the bittersweetness of death, you know. So that's what's been making me finally think. It was that. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm 5 years in and it's my age.
It's everything, yeah.
It's the grandma deaths is what triggered and what's a catalyst to go, who the fuck am I? You know. So anyways, that's what I wanted to share about that. So that's what I feel like I could probably. Maybe I should talk about it in the video. I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think that's
dude,
the thing that's
this is gold, man. Like this is a side of you that is gonna bring a human element to where maybe people are like not as judgy or not. You know what I mean? Like most of your fans are probably not gonna be judgy on your stuff because I'm a fan and I watch your stuff and yeah, like there's stuff that's like a little edgy and I'm like, but I like one thing of it and that's why I'll say like I love that one look that you gave at the very end or like just the fact that like. At the very end of one of the things you were in like a driving scene, like you could obviously tell it was you doing like a green screen kind of thing, but it looked so funny that it added to the video. So it's like these little things these nuances that I appreciate as a friend, as a fan, that I'm like, as what you're trying to do, and I see what you're trying to do. So I'm like, dude, like I think that, and that's crazy to hear that you're like so judgy, you're so hard on yourself. Because for me, watching on the other side, I'm like, dude, where does he come up with this shit? Like that's crazy. Like that's such a funny concept. Like that's funny that you brought that up. You know, like because it's such a small little thing that no one really pays attention to, but it's like a funny thing if you bring it and you bring it to light. So, I mean, I think what it is too many mind. You know, like know that you're in a transition in your life. A little bit of age is a thing too. Yeah. What he was saying, I agree. Like you should be real because that's who you are. You're a real person. And I think that's going to bring a new element to your brand, to your comedy, too. You know what I mean? Even when you're telling me this, with the whole comedy thing for me, I was like, while you're telling me, I'm like, why am I going to try to do this? It's like, you're 5 years in. I have nothing on my belt. And it's like already stressful to me to like the stresses that come with that, trying to put yourself out there on a stage and stuff like that. So I'm like, but it also encourages me to see that you're going through it and you're kind of learning and you're still questioning it, which is, it's better that you question it because if you're not questioning yourself, then you're never going to change. You're never going to grow. You're never going to make, you know what I mean? Like, so, because if you're complacent with where you're at, then you're just going to be complacent. So I think there's just the balance. And I think the balance is to find that Mike Kim, not on stage, not on all the time, and just having a good time. Just being able to let loose where no one's going to judge you. And that's what friends are, you know? And that's even for me. Like, I'm like, dude, even for us, like my group of friends, we're not, like, I'm going to invite you and I want you to come out and hang out because this is a different side of like industry, you know, like that you might need, you know, in your life. You
No,
know what
actually,
I mean?
I definitely need that because the thing that you guys do, right, that I see you guys do, is that you guys have other community. Like, you know, you have like a church, and then you have like your other friends and stuff. I made my whole world just this one thing for 5 years.
Comedy.
And I actually neglected a lot of my friendships.
Yeah.
Like, I sacrificed a lot where I don't even get invited to those things anymore. And I don't blame them because I didn't want to go either. I viewed it as something that's getting in my way. I viewed it as a nuisance. But that's because I was so afraid to lose the momentum that I was going to, like, literally die.
But it's also because they don't want to get in your way, too. It's like,
that too.
they respect
but
your,
now,
like,
But
grind.
see, where I'm at now is, I'm like, no, those are important. And I'm not better than somebody because I had to think, like, I'll be honest, I had to think like this. I had to think that I was better to a degree because I'm doing the thing that people are too afraid to do. I'm not even just saying comedy, but, like, the ones that I respected was the ones that did not the 9 to 5 stuff during the last, like, 5. Well, I don't think like that anymore. Like the last couple months, but up to like over 4+ years, that I had to be judgmental and think like that because I was that guy, and that's the only thing that kept me going. It was so like life or death to me because it took everything in me not to quit. You know, so I was kind of an asshole with that mindset, but now I don't think like that at all. You know, so it's just like
growth.
It's growth and maturing, and then getting more, you know, experience in what I'm doing and going like, you're not better than anybody. Like, everybody's doing their own fucking thing, and that's just like fragile ego and narcissism to survive, which I recognize 100%. That's all it was. I don't know. Like, that's why. And you guys are very vulnerable people. Like, you guys could easily lie about where you are, and it could be. I mean, there's a lot of people that we know who's 20 years in a thing, and they would never admit like what you admitted. They would.
I mean, what's the
but you
point,
saying that,
dude?
yeah,
What's the
but you
point?
saying that made me feel better. So you gave me a gift, and you're giving whoever is listening a gift or watching a gift of this too, because they're gonna be like, oh, even he goes through that. But that's the human experience, right?
Yeah.
No matter how fucking old you are, I think that's just what it is forever.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so we just gotta be like honest about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I love this, man. You know, like, again, just to go back to what I said, you know, content creation, which is literally what this is. We're creating content for people to watch, listen, be entertained by, and, you know, hopefully, you know, receive some level of inspiration. But like, sometimes the most inspirational stuff is the most unappealing, most normal, most painful. Like, I am inspired, and sounds weird for me to even say this. I'm inspired by most people, or most inspired by people's pain and by people's insecurities, because I can relate to pain and insecurity because I face that every single day, as does most of humanity. Most people wake up not thinking, yes, I'm the best person in the world. Everyone needs me. Most people wake up of just like, yo, can I just make it through this day? Am I just gonna be able to like find something in this day that I felt like was worthwhile?
Or that I can be proud of myself.
That I can be proud of myself, that I can feel like, yo, like I showed up in a good way, and I like the way that I showed up. That's most people, you know what I mean? And so influencer, whatever you want to call it, we're human beings, man, and we all go through our seasons of peaks and valleys. And so, like, for you to even come in today with a bit of a valley, you know what I mean? I appreciate that, because I'm just like, bro, I completely resonate with you, bro. I completely relate with you, because I am in there. And then here you are, before we roll it, you know, we started rolling, you guys were talking about the video that I posted, and here I am thinking, I'm like, that video? I'm like, I'm personally not really feeling that video, but thank you. It's just like, it's one of those, like, I don't really agree, but thank you. It's a double-sided coin again. It's the, I feel like I could have done better, but on that same token, you guys are giving me some praise and flowers that I don't think you're lying to me. So it's like, wow, cool. There's room to improve in my thinking, but on the other side of that, like, people are actually giving me some like love for this. So I was like, all right,
and they're enjoying it. Because I'll be honest, dude, if I didn't feel that way, I would not have said one thing.
I believe
Because
it.
I hate giving fake compliments.
100%
it makes
me too.
I want to kill myself.
Yeah,
if I go,
because it's like you're lying to the person.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell some like overweight person, dude, you're in great shape. No, I would rather stab myself with a fork
I would just be like, hey,
Because
bro.
then I'm hurting them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, dude, you eat too much because I'm your friend.
He
I'm
does
like,
that. Yeah, he's real with.
You know what I
like,
say to my friends sometimes when they gain weight? I'm like, dude, you've been eating, huh? Like, I'll say that. But that's because I love them. And then they'll laugh.
Yeah.
Like, you're an asshole. I'm like, yeah, but you should take care of your health because I love
Right.
you. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. He's that to
sometimes-
me. He's that to
sometimes-
me. I'm that to him.
I used to be real, like, a lot chubbier, a lot fluffier, and yeah, I get it. So it's just, the thing is, you're very real with me. I'm very real with you. That's why our friendship is great.
We had a very real talk last night.
Yeah.
We recorded last night.
Yeah.
We were in the green room.
In the green room.
The green room.
Waiting room. Yeah.
And not that we were like getting at each other, but I was like, look, I really want to see your personal growth. The only way you're going to do that is you got to really go after it, and you can't half-ass this stuff. You got to really be about it.
And he was like waiting for me to be like, man, what fucking? I was like, yeah, you're right, man. You're
I
right.
used to smoke meth. Come on.
But that's the thing. That's growth. Even for me,
yeah.
like if it was 3 months ago, I might have argued. You know what I mean?
That's huge internal growth, which you can't buy. You can't teach. Really, you can't really teach.
Oh,
it.
for sure.
You can try to force them, but they're not gonna learn that unless they are willing and also learn on their own. That's a huge step.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially for me, because I'm a very defensive for no reason. Like, I'll just defend, like, be defensive just to be like, to fight back, just to, like, argue. And I even, because he was like, I'm so glad that you're accepting this, because I'm sure you came in.
Yeah,
with
I
the
was
thought of,
nervous
like,
because I was like, I want to tell you these things, but I don't want it to come at the cost of you being
him
offended.
getting fucked up, like.
Yeah. But you knew you had to do
Sorry.
that as a friend.
Yeah.
And as a man who has to be honest.
Yeah.
Because that's a disservice to him and your friendship.
Yes.
If you're not honest about that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. And that's the next step for when as you're getting older, is you're just honest, not giving a fuck, but not giving a fuck where you're just like
that.
off the cuff of like just whatever you want to say. Like, there's a little bit of tact involved.
I'm trying to get better at the tact because I'm a little too honest.
A little too honest
Like,
to
a
where
little
like you
too
got to
straightforward.
remember like
To
that.
people I care about.
Yeah.
But I think that's golden, bro. Like, you don't want to be less honest. You want to be as honest as you can be. I think, but you said tact as far as, all right, maybe there's a timing, maybe there's
Because you
a
got
way,
comedic timing, I'm sure.
there's a way that you should deliver
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah, no, because I like my choice to go in is when they're at their weakest. Because in my mind,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's when they're gonna learn from extra pain.
Oh man, I thought you were saying
Like,
I'm
let
gonna
me
make
double
him
down.
laugh, like,
No, I'm
'cause he's
serious.
like,
I'm gonna
don't
double
triple
down on your
like, dude,
pain.
I'm telling you, man. Like one of them, like, dude, she cheated on me, and now we're actually done. And then all the time you've been simping, giving her money, and this, and then I go, yeah, so she's done. She blocked you? She's like, yeah, she blocked me. I'm like, let me tell you something. Then I go in,
Yeah,
and then they're like,
yeah.
Mike, that was really fucked up, but no, I know you care about me. I'm like, yeah, that's why. Let me say one more thing though.
I got
and I
one
go,
more.
I
I'm
go
not
in
done.
because
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
I don't want to say it during it because I'm
For
like, you're
sure.
a man, you make your own decision.
For
but
sure.
Once it's done, I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you every single way you fucked up.
So
Wow.
that's the thing. The tact is where you're like, you don't have to be brutally honest.
I get a little too hard.
Brutally honest is just because.
if I want them to learn, because if I see they've been doing the same mistakes over and over, then I go so hard it makes them want to. I had somebody
That's different, yeah.
avoid
I
me
get
for
that.
like 4 months in comedy.
Because you called him out so hard.
So hard about like work, like grinding. When he was at his weakest moment, and for 2 hours, I just went off and just like, yeah, because like you're just a lazy motherfucker. That's why, like I just go in like
Damn,
that's how I
dude.
really talk. I talk very harsh.
Yeah.
In like my intense.
Your intent is good. Yeah,
my
yeah,
heart's like yeah, butterflies, but like literally as I'm talking, but my voice is deep.
Mm-hmm.
And my face is an asshole face.
And you got a bald head.
I got a bald head, so now, and then the wrinkles, and I look like a fucking asshole. So I'm like, yeah, dude, you're just a lazy fuck. You know that, right? Like, if you did this 5 years ago, you'd be so much further. But look at you, like I get a little.
Korean.
I
That's
talk
very
like that.
Korean.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
admitted, yeah, it's very Korean. And then later, I was like, I saw him months later. I noticed he's not DMing me and things like he used to.
He unfollowed me.
So I
We're not
said-
friends anymore.
There's a few people that did that. But then I was like, hey man, you voted me, man. He's like, nah. Then the next day we got to do a show together, and he's like, okay, you know what, man? Yeah, I know your heart's in the right place, but that was a little too harsh, man. Like, I know you're going through things right now. I know you're like going in this like mode of like grinding, but so I understand that. But I just didn't want to hear that because I'm not at that place. So I was like, yeah, I was avoiding you.
But that's also real too, and that's probably
And I
good
appreciated
good
his honesty.
feedback for you to get.
It was good feedback
Yeah,
because
yeah.
before the way I'm so hard at it. Before I would have been like, pussy, like the whole time. I would have been like, you fucking weakling. And I would judge them, and then I would go, you know what?
Should be a motivational speaker.
With you. No, I've gotten that all the time. But,
Pussy, get off your ass.
That's my opening.
Yeah.
My TED talk.
Don't be a pussy.
Don't be a pussy.
We gotta block that
But
word
that's
out,
where
'cause
I'm
it's
learning
such
to. I'm learning to like. You don't have. You can be honest, but you don't have to like curb stomp them. Because my view of love. This is where shit's fucked up. This is what I'm working on too. And I took this from a video I saw. I forgot what it was, but it's about a compilation of like people all over the world being honest. And it was like this guy who was in prison. My gauge of love is how much pains, and that's me. Because I have abandonment. So
do I.
So I'll intentionally on a unconscious level try to sabotage friendships at times when we're really close, because I'm used to, if I can destroy it first, then it won't
hurt you,
run away.
Oh.
Like I was used to in my life. So that's the thing I've gotten better at, but I still suffer with, because then my brain will go into like some crazy dark hole. Not that I do that all the time, but it's like instances where it can't come up in, and I'll start thinking crazy shit.
Yo, well, Mike, man, we love you, bro.
Yeah,
we love you, man.
Keep doing it. Keep pumping out those reels. I know it's hard, but also give some time for yourself too.
We support you.
This was very healing, just by being able to be honest in front of another group of men.
Yes.
That I respect you guys. I like you guys. Otherwise, I wouldn't fucking draw.
I know. We know.
But so I appreciate you guys for facilitating this environment to bring that out of me. So that I learned a huge lesson today, that I can be honest with that stuff with other people, because I like, what it is.
Yeah, we know what totally it is, bro. And dude, we support you with whatever energy you want to come with.
Yeah.
You don't need to come with the laughs. You can come with the realness, bro. Like at the end of the day, for me, I only care about the realness. Yeah. I'm like, what's really going on? And if we're gonna laugh, and if that's what's real,
I'm glad that you actually said let's wait for you, because we were gonna shoot. If we shot, if we would have been talking about some bullshit when you came in, and it would have been bullshit. Yeah, it wouldn't have came up. So I'm actually glad that like we waited.
And it's been a legit minute since we all we caught up, and for you to come in with this real life place that you're at, bro, it resonates with me personally. So I'm just too. Bro, I totally get you. I'm right there with you. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's what, again, going back to what this show is for, it's to get the real stuff out in real time. Someone out there is gonna resonate with the real of you, of me, and that's what we're trying to do, man. So, Mike, we always love when you stop by, bro, and thank you for just being down to be vulnerable, and there's power in this episode, man.
And you should, we're actually doing the Booze Happy Boo Year, right? So you should come through.
We're doing our first ever live event in January. We're partnering with Booze Philly Cheesesteak in K-Town. And
like a block
January
party kind of
27th.
12 to 5. 12 to 5. Yeah.
And we'd love to have you come by, get some, we'll eat some cheesesteaks. We'll have some laughs. There's going to be music. There's going to be dancing. And
you want to MC? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't.
And we're going to put him to work now?
No. I was just kidding, but yeah.
But yeah, it'll be a good time, man. So we'd love to have you out there. And then for all y'all watching, listening, come through January 27th, Booze Philly Cheesesteak in Koreatown, 12 to 5 p.m. Bring your homies, your kids, your dogs, your wives, your husbands, everything.
Bring your appetite.
Because there's gonna be legit. A lot of bomb food. So that's going down next year, 2024. So we're gonna kick off the new year.
Can you believe it's gonna be 2024 already?
It's crazy, bro.
2024 is gonna be wild,
in
dude.
a couple of weeks.
It's gonna be wild.
This year has been so freaking crazy, bro.
I know. The video I made today was about Jay Holiday. Remember Jay Holiday?
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I'm gonna put you to bed, because I saw a video of him where he's like super fucking fat now. Well,
is he really?
Fat. It's pretty bad. I mean, well, his outfit of choice is really bad, where it's too tight. So I like roasted him a bit, but no, because I like Jay Holiday, but then I was like, I look back, that song came out in 2007, and it doesn't feel like it was that long. 2007, that was like 16 years, almost 17 years ago.
Damn, that's right.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm saying, dude,
Yeah.
2024 is hitting me extra hard too. It's like, dude.
Time be flying, y'all.
Yeah.
Can I say
Time be
this though
flying.
before this
Please.
ends?
Yeah.
Please.
I didn't put this in the video. I recorded it, but I didn't put it up because I thought it was too mean. I said, Jay Holiday needs to be called Forever Holiday because it looks like he hasn't gotten out of bed since 2007.
Damn.
I don't even know what it
I
He's
is.
still
didn't have that
carrying that holiday weight. Is what you're saying.
But I
Jay
took it out,
Holiday
but I didn't put it in the video because I actually really like Jay Holiday, and I wanted to make it like a light, fun roast, and then I like give him his flowers. Yeah.
That was pretty big.
Shout out
Pretty
Jay.
harsh, right?
We'll see what happens.
Jay
We'll see what
Holiday,
happens.
we
Jay
hope-
Holiday, if you want to come on the show, and
We love you.
Well, what if he's at the event and he tries to beat me up?
That
Well,
would
yeah,
be
bring
some
your
great
come Jay
content.
Marketing.
Jay Holiday, come through.
Some great
Yeah,
content.
Get out of
Jay
bed,
Holiday. Holla at your boys. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Conversations. We love you guys. It's been a great year. Make sure you're following us on all of our socials at Conversations_pod.
pod on all platforms. On X, it's _conversations pod.
On X.
No, sorry, _conversations. Sorry, we don't use X.
And Chimu.com.
We should use that. No,
At
I don't use it
Temu.com.
anymore.
Oh, never mind. Not
Follow
Timu.
Ryan on Temu.
Email
He
Ryan
has
at
the hottest-
Temu.com.
Hottest store on Temu. But
I
for
got
real,
this knife.
but for
Temu
he got a knife. But for real, if you guys are digging what we're doing, make sure you get onto your podcast platform. Give us that 5-star rating.
5 stars.
Leave us a dope review. Review can be like whatever you're liking, a question, guest that you want us to bring on.
Or a
Just
quip.
Leave us something.
You know,
a
or
what?
a quip.
What's a quip?
Like a fun antidote. You know, antidote. Like
An antidote is like a freaking
wait, did I say that?
Anecdote.
Okay,
Anecdote,
comment.
sorry.
Just leave a
Anecdote.
comment.
Leave a comment. Yeah, quip.
yeah.
Or
an antidote to
Antidote.
antidote to a disease or a spell that's
I'm dumb.
casted
I'm
on
sorry.
you. So we love y'all. Conversations. We out of here. Peace.
Jeez.
Peace in the Middle East.
This will